On this, when things get complicated, we bring in a lawyer, Rakesh Mehrotra. He's the managing attorney and president of law offices of Rakesh Mehrotra. Thank you for coming in on this Friday evening.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is complicated, but I'm going to try to simplify it a bit. We have two issues here. One is the H-1B visas, and the other one is the EB-5. The H-1B is for companies who, if you want to hire me, I'd be under that.
Sure.
The second one is if I want to come in the United States and start a business. Let's start with the workers first. Mark was talking about this. There is a finite number of applicants that qualify under this. You know this very well. When I mean finite, explain what that means.
Well, you know, every year there are 65,000 visas that are allocated. Yes, that's it. 65,000 visas that are allocated for U.S. graduates with a bachelor's degree. There's an additional quota of 20,000, which is meant for master's degree or higher. So there's a total of 85,000 visas. It's a finite number. Every year, we get the same number. However, every year, the number of applicants is almost double the amount of visas available. And that happens in the very first week in April. So within the very first week of the year,
the whole thing's done. It's already done.
It's already done. And twice the number of applicants have filed applications.
Some have made the argument that, look, we don't want to give more of these visas out because you're taking jobs away from other Americans that are here in the United States already. But others would argue that, look, if you don't let these jobs stay in the country, those jobs will simply be offshored elsewhere. So it's the inverse of that argument. Who's right about this?
Well, I mean, there are obviously different schools of thought, but I personally believe that if these jobs are not offered to the workers that are within the United States, the U.S. employers are going to take these jobs elsewhere because they have to get the work done. Somebody has to do the work that needs to be done, whether you get it done within the United States or they might want to get it done overseas. If the number of visas are not available, they have no choice but to take these jobs elsewhere.
So realistically, is Congress going to do anything? I mean, we just heard a war of words between Obama and Boehner. I mean, this is all internal U.S. political stuff, but from the outside, it doesn't seem that likely that anything is going to happen in the next year.
Well, right now, you know, lines have been drawn in sand, and the political atmosphere is kind of combative. Hopefully, as the president says, pass the bill, and that's what the Congress will do, and that's what needs to be done, because the president does not have the power to increase the numbers by himself. No. It's done by legislation. Congress has to do it.
So the other half is EB-5, and for our viewers around the world, this is where you pump in a pile of money in the U.S. and you basically get a green card. I hate to make it like that, like you're buying a green card, but you're supposed to be creating jobs, you're supposed to be investing in a condo project or a business, and that ultimately, I guess, gets you to qualify as a sort of investor, if you will. Sure. How big is that program? Are there limits to that program? And I'm sure you get phone calls about this.
Yes, the program is quite big. There are 10,000 visas allocated every year for this program. However, most of the investors in this program are from China. Now, what has been happening is that there are per country limits for these visas. So China is being oversubscribed in the last few years.
They're near the limit.
And now they're near the limit. So what's going to happen is come March or April, Chinese investors who want to pump in $1 million into the U.S. economy will not be able to do so, or will have a wait time before they're allowed to, you know, come into the United States with a green card.
Do these two things, the H-1B and the EB-5, so for the workers and the investors, this needs to be revamped, doesn't it? It just seems like it hasn't changed for so many years and it needs to be addressed by Congress.
Well, absolutely, because the 85,000 visas that are available under the H-1B program have been there for the last 10 to 15 years. And the U.S. economy and the number of jobs, employment market has grown substantially since then.
Now, I only have another minute left, according to Caitlin. And I want to get to something that's good news, because the president said for up to the people who are already here on the work visa, their spouses can work. Yes. How big is this? I mean, how this is huge, right?
Yeah, that's huge. There are approximately 650,000 H-1B holders that are currently in the United States. Now, according to the statistics that have been published, there are approximately 100,000 spouses that are available to work within the United States and would be the beneficiary.
They can now work and
Yeah, they can now work. They can come out of their houses and start working, because a lot of these spouses are very well qualified, like their husbands are, and they're unable to work. they are sitting and are not able to contribute to the U.S. economy because they don't have work permits. So 100,000 people that are already sitting out there, plus an additional 30,000 on an annual basis. So this is a huge...
Well, so we've got good news on that front, but it's still bad news for the tech companies who have been lobbying so long to get more and more visas, but for now they have to keep on waiting.
For now they have to, yeah.
Rakesh Mehrotra, thank you very much. Great to